I rolled out of bed one morning not long ago after a good night's sleep. With the exception of my artificial hip, I felt pretty good. Then I got on my Facebook and Twitter feed reminding me of the pandemic trauma and suffering on multiple levels. Suddenly I was refreshing the John-Hopkins pandemic map every hour on the hour, fixating on the changing numbers. I could feel the hope slipping away again and depression creeping in. My mental balance shifted to chaos. I worried about my mother in her 80s with underlying health issues, living on her own in another city. If she contracts COVID, will she die alone? Will she be treated as if not worth saving because of her age? I worried about my wife and her aging parents. I stressed over my two brothers and their families, and my extended family, as well as my friends and their families. The weight of the entire COVID crisis felt like it was a foot pressing into my gut. Suddenly, every sneeze, sniffle, and cough was a harbinger of infection and hammered home the reality that I'm a baby boomer on the cusp of the high-risk demographic. How in the world did that happen? Where did the years go? Wasn't it yesterday that I was an invincible 18-year-old adventuring on a trailway bus across the country with $50 to my name? I felt alone and isolated. But the reality is that I was far from alone. I had a compassionate community all around me, starting with my closest intimate connections and mushrooming outward. My wife was a room away. My mother and two brothers are only a phone call, Skype, or Zoom away. That morning, however, I didn't take advantage of it and bled anxiety as if I had been stabbed in the chest. Then I had an epiphany. All the people I worry about were worried about me. I finally reached out. My nuclear compassionate community kicked in. I'm very privileged to have that because many don't. A compassionate community, of course, involves more than just our nuclear family and our close friends. The legal profession is a community. We have subsets of communities within that. In the nature of the adversarial process, we are not always compassionate and supportive of each other, though that is changing with the push towards a more wellness-oriented profession. It really is. We are, however, family in a general sense. As a macro community, we have survived common battles, the rigor of law school and the bar exam, the struggle of wearing or trying not to wear a suit comprised of our clients' pain and suffering. The irony is that those very commonalities often put us at odds with each other in the most uncivil of ways. Yep. We are people. We have stories. We get depressed. We stress. We cry. We laugh. We grieve. We are all more than our struggle, but when we look at our peers, we are often uncomfortable acknowledging their struggle, let alone a person with a life story. As we deal with this unprecedented health crisis, please keep in mind that this added stress and anxiety can be a trigger to underlying mental health issues and trauma. The event is trauma in its own right. Being empathetic and compassionate to each other is more important than ever. If you are struggling, please remember that the Lawyers Assistance Program is not just about addiction. They are also there to help with depression and other mental health issues. Utilize the Lawyers Depression Project. It's online and open to all in the profession in law schools. If you are in a 12-step group, In the Rooms is an online resource that has support meetings and many other mental health outlets. Many 12-step groups are going online using various video conferencing applications. A great resource is We Connect recovery meetings. Find the mental health resource that works best for you and make them part of your compassionate community.